Good afternoon, everyone, or evening or morning, wherever you are watching this beautiful, wonderful video. And my name is Tendai Jordan. I'm welcoming you to 5 Powerful Women. As you know, or may not know, that 5 Powerful Women is a production of Take One Night Off a Week. Take One Night Off a Week is, we call affectionately Tonawa. That is take one night off a week to take care of yourself. Everyone needs to do that, but right now I'm talking to women as well as talking to myself, that how important it is for us to take care of ourselves in all areas of our life. That is mentally, psychologically, emotionally, health-wise, financially, with our relationships. That's what Take One Night Off a Week is, and it's a program that produces 5 powerful women. Today we're going to be talking about what to do when you don't know what to do. I have encountered that dilemma. I know other women have, so if you have, please pay attention and see if you can come out and understand what to do when you don't know what to do. I am proud, honored, fulfilled, happy to be in Nairobi, Kenya today with these beautiful women that are powerful and wonderful. And I've been here a few days. I've met several people, and one of the things that I have noticed, which women will be talking about, is the condition, the situation, the circumstance of women, not only here, but in all parts of the world. Those conditions and circumstances are something that we know don't have to be, and each woman up here wants to change that situation. What 5 Powerful Women is women sharing their stories of victory over a certain situation, something they encountered, they learned from it, and they came out victoriously. The whole idea is, and I said I would tell you more about it, and I'm so happy you're here. I'm going to introduce everybody in a minute, or they're going to introduce themselves. I have done several of these videos, as you know. And mainly the idea is when women are sharing their stories of victory, of accomplishment, of success, of transforming from one way of thinking or one situation to another, that inspires other women. Just touching another woman to let them know that I can do it too. I'm not alone, and I am powerful. And that woman will touch another woman, and that woman will touch another woman. My calling is to support, encourage, and challenge women to give their gift. That gift, whatever it is that comes through them, will support people. So there's like a ripple effect that happens when you are doing what you love to do, and that energy of love and courage and boldness, which it takes a lot sometimes, that will touch some other people. Those people, when they have felt your energy, and then they get that energy, even if it's for a moment, because once you get that energy of heightened and joy and peace and living beyond the limits, you want more of it. You know, you want more of it, so you're going to want it more often for longer periods of time. So the idea is, do what you do that comes through you from the divine, from spirit, from whatever you call that, all energy, and it's going to touch someone, and they'll touch someone. And before you know it, we're going to be living in a world that we all want to live in, that everyone is treated fairly, living beyond the limits that's set for us. So basically, it's simple, but it's not easy. So that's why we're here today, to inspire, to encourage each and every person that looks at this video. Please share it with others. And check us out on Facebook, of course, to join Tendai Jordan, and as well as the website, TendaiJordan.com. But that'll all be in the tail end. So if you would introduce yourselves, I'm very happy to be hosted by Reverend Connie Phelps, who is, this is her home in Nairobi, Kenya. So she's with Centers for Spiritual Living. That's called CSL Kenya. Wow. It's just not a blessing for us and me especially. So let's start here with you. And you introduce yourself, say what you like. This is just the introduction part. We'll come back to the story part.
Thanks, Tendai. Well, I'm Connie Phelps, and as Tendai said, I am the founding spiritual leader of Center for Spiritual Living Kenya, based in Nairobi. I have been with Centers for Spiritual Living for 20 years. This is my 20th year of ministry. And it is my joy to have met Tendai this summer when I did a trip to the U.S. and then stayed with her. She came back and stayed with me here already. So it's such a delight to have you here in our home and to share some of the student success stories here in Nairobi. Thank you.
Asante sana.
Oh, very good, Sana.
Yes, thank you.
I'm Kerry Wanjiro. I'm a second year student at CSL Kenya. Let me not start on my story now. Let me just say I'm Kerry. I love, a friend introduced me to Connie just last year. This is my second year at CSL, and I love being here. I love the energy and the vibe of this place. My life has taken a turn just from being around these wonderful people.
Yes,
It
thank
has.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And last but not least.
Hi, my name is Nancy Ngugi. I am a student of Science of Mind, second year. And now I live Science of Mind, work Science of Mind, and I just love being around here. Yes.
Tell us a little bit before we get started about your family.
I'm a widow. I have 4 children between the ages of 21 and 8. I live with my husband's family, and that's about it.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you for sharing that. Just a little bit, because I know that's your story.
I am recently separated. I'm a mother of 1. My daughter is 12 years old. I only have the 1 daughter. And I'm the first born in a family of 2. Yeah, that's basically a family structure.
Good, thank
Yeah.
you. And a little bit about Canada, maybe?
I have 4 children and 14 grandchildren. Wow. I know, that's so funny. I love saying that. But this is my life. I'm originally from Canada, and I have been living off and on in Nairobi since 2010, so for 8 years now, but permanently for the last 3. And this is my home.
Thank you. Thank you. So today, our listening and watching audience, like I said, we're going to talk about situations that we found ourselves in and learned a lesson, something came out of it, and now we're on the victory end of it, having transformed, having grown, and it can happen to you. It can happen for you. It can happen with you also. So who would like to start? I always ask that. Now both of them have told me, Tendai, 5 minutes is not enough. So who wants to get started? You go, Nancy. I'm good for that. Once I know your name, it's on. So
Okay.
why don't you start with us? Thank you.
All right. So you want me to tell my story now?
Yes, this is your time.
Okay, this is my time. My story, I'd say, or rather my life took a turn about 7 years ago when I lost my husband. He got pancreatic cancer, and 6 months down the line, he passed on. I was left with 4 children. That time, the oldest was 14 and the youngest was 1 year old, and I didn't know what to do. And I was living with my husband's family. After he got sick, we had to move back home, and it was very, very difficult adjusting. And having him suddenly die was just, my life just took a turn for the worst. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how I was going to move on, and I didn't have a job. We had spent a lot of money, our savings, on his treatment. From here, he had traveled to India 2 times, and so there I was with 4 children, and in a strange environment, and no job. So first I got depressed, very, very depressed. I couldn't move. I honestly didn't know how I was going to move on. So for like 2 years on and off, I was trying this, trying that. Nothing was working out. Until one time I realized that I had to do something to change my situation. And still, I honestly didn't know what to do, because I was stuck in this place. In this place, in my mind and in my heart, I didn't know anybody of my age who had lost a husband, and so there was no one to tell me what to expect. Okay? So I didn't know Christmas would never be the same, birthdays, I mean, like, everything changed. And I just didn't know how to cope, and I didn't have anybody to talk to, because most of my friends still had their families intact. They didn't know what to say to me. Actually, some people just avoided me totally because they didn't know what to say to me.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, that happens.
So I just kept on going down and down, and after a couple of years is when I realized that if I didn't do something, that I was gonna die. And at that point is when I thought, my children will be orphans for real. Yeah. So I just slowly started reading. I started reading inspirational books, and slowly I began to have a shift. I still hadn't figured out what to do, but I started having this shift in my mind that it couldn't get worse than where it was then. So then I started being active on social media. Now I'm trying to put this into my 5 minutes.
Or 6 or 7, it's okay.
Okay?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, so I started being active on social media. Actually, I remember I registered in Facebook. I wasn't in Facebook ever before when I was married. When my husband died, I think a year later is when I joined Facebook. And through Facebook, I started interacting with people whom previously I had, like face-to-face interactions, but I never saw anymore. And one of the things that was crazy about that is I found that my circle of friends suddenly, before I had like, let's say 20, 50 friends, and then I think I had 2. I don't know where everybody else went. So I started interacting with people, and there was this gentleman called Mungai, and he used to post very, very provoking posts, and he seemed like he belonged to another consciousness that I didn't have, and he was very much aware of where his place in this universe, and his place with everybody else, and his place with God. And I kept reading his posts, and I found it very intriguing. And one time I just asked him, like, where do you get this stuff? Where are you getting this? I mean, you post things that are so, like, you don't even belong to this world. And that is when he directed me to Centers for Spiritual Living Kenya. I remember I gave Reverend Connie, he gave me Reverend Connie's number, and I gave her a call, and I remember she was in Mombasa at that time, and she told me to come and we have a meet. And I came and I did the discovery class, and something in my mind just clicked.
Mm.
I felt like, where has this been all my life, you know? And since then is when I started coming for the classes, and that is when, for me, I started to realize what it is that I needed to do.
Mm.
And I realized that I needed to affirm myself more. I needed to take control of my life, and I needed to start being directional with the kind of life I was living. And this slowly started impacting me towards more positivity, and I can now see the reflection even in my children. It has gone beyond that, and now I look out for people, or for women like me in my community, who have lost their husbands. Okay? And I talk to them, and I tell them it's gonna be different.
Okay.
Yeah?
I'm loving that.
Yeah. And I tell them that it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So your experience, as devastating as you felt, and the depression, and coming through that, really transforming you into something, or giving something of yourself
Yes.
to other women like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, girl, see, that's what I'm talking about. That ripple effect. I mean, really, it's fabulous.
Yeah.
And I think now that you say it like that, because I haven't heard the story, I love that.
Mhm.
I think that sometimes when we look back, because we always say, or some of us say that hindsight is 20/20, but we see the importance, or how the tragedy, devastation, the situation led you somewhere.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's great.
Yes. So now it's interesting because recently one of my friends, who's also a widow, because now I find myself networking more with the widows, has been referring people to me like every other time. Talk to Nancy. She'll, like, you'll be okay with her. Just talk to her, and she'll tell you exactly where you're going, because I didn't have anybody to tell me how it was.
Yes.
So I decided that as much as I can, even if it's one woman, two women, three women, it doesn't matter. But I want to hold their hand and tell them that, yeah, you can do this.
Nancy, thank you. And the people watching and listening and are taking up that, can they follow you too?
Definitely. Anytime.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But
yes.
even if they don't, then you're offering something
Yeah.
from inside of you.
Yeah.
That is a gift you probably didn't even know you had.
No, I didn't.
I love it. I
Yes.
love that.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you
Yeah.
too.
How has it, you said something about your children. How is that, how do you see some of your spiritual work and practice affecting your children?
Okay, for me, mostly I was very controlling, a perfectionist, and especially now after the loss, I just wanted to have my children, like I wanted to hold them close to me, and I didn't want anything or anybody to interfere with that, because I was coming from a place of fear. Okay, so now, and Reverend Connie can attest to that. She's met one of my sons, and he knows that now I really don't care if he wants his hair red, you can have it red. If you want it green, like I let them make their choices. And now I know that they have the wisdom and the intelligence to make good choices for their lives, and I'm not living their life for them.
Yeah, they have a life.
Can I speak to that?
Sure.
I met her son Eric, who Mark, the other son. Her son Mark, sorry. And I'm starting a teen group, and Mark is going to be one of the teens. I'd never met him before, but he wanted to have a teen group. He's never met me. Because they want to meet other teens that mothers are in this, crazy life that they have now, and they want support from other teens as well to be different. So he came over one day, and I asked the teens that day, I said, so what is it that you have noticed that has changed your life?
Mm.
And Mark's answer to me, he lit up. And he said, the biggest thing, he said, my mom listens to me. My mom listens to my ideas, and she honors me. Those were maybe not his exact words, but that was my recollection of what he was saying.
Mm.
He said the difference it's made in their home.
Wow. Thank you.
He said it's peaceful, it's calm, the mom isn't fighting with them all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I can relate to that, especially the fear piece in terms of how you're raising your children, because I could have this big T-shirt sign that says a recovering control freak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think with the fear, I mean, I raised my children in fear. I really did. And fortunately, they survived it and now can see me prayerfully in a different state of mind, a different way of thinking about who they are and what they do. And, you're getting along better.
Yeah.
So there is an impact when you transform and change your mind and your thinking, not only on you, but folk, because we are gregarious, we're around other people.
Yeah.
And so it has to have that impact.
Yeah.
Thank you, girl. Thank you for sharing that. That's lovely.
Thank
Absolutely.
You. Thank you.
Right. So that leaves, we'll go to Reverend Connie. I'll let you go last. How's that?
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Okay, so the story I want to share about a moment when I didn't know what to do was when I first came to Nairobi the first time. It was in 2010. And I came here not knowing a soul, and I had a list of a few names from Centers for Spiritual Living, and one of the men on the list had started a primary school in a local slum called Makuro Kwajenga. And he invited me out to the school, and he wanted to have a meeting with some of the teachers and parents, because he and his wife were doing classes with me and wanted me to meet them. So I was out at the school, and let me just say it was absolutely overwhelming. I had never walked into a slum before, and it was like, okay, this is a different reality. So this particular day they had a room. Now the rooms are, dirt floor, tin walls, no lighting. It was dark in there, and they had, it was at the school, and this room was packed. There must have been maybe 40 people in this room. And so they introduced me, and I started speaking. I was sitting, and I looked out at the audience, and it was this sea of black, stoic faces, not a smile to be had. Normally, you notice, when somebody's talking, you smile, you nod, there's some interaction, Nothing. And all of a sudden, I just had this thought. It's like, oh my goodness, what have you done? Seriously, what have you done? You've quit your center, you've sold everything you've owned, you've moved here, and you don't have a backup plan. And what were you thinking, girl? That's my moment of reckoning. It's like, oh dear, this is not good. And I could feel this panic begin to set in. And so, being a good student of the science of mind, I closed my eyes and I just took a breath. And I thought, okay, Connie, just breathe. Like, just breathe. You're not going to die here. Although, quite honestly, it felt like I was. Truly, it felt like I was. And I heard this voice in my head, and it was the voice of Ernest Holmes, who's the founder of this teaching. And what I heard was something that I heard many, many times in classes. And what I heard was, truth is truth. Truth is truth. The spiritual truth is the truth. And it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what age you are, what color you are, what gender you are. None of that matters. Truth is truth, and you know how to teach truth. And I just felt this wave come over my body. And I thought, okay, I can do this. And I opened up my eyes and I looked out at this crowd and I went, so, you're probably wondering what this white woman from Canada possibly has to tell and share with you that can make any difference in your life. And all of a sudden, they started to smile and nod. And I thought, oh, this is good. And so I repeated that to them. And I said, so here's what I know. I know that there's only one power and one presence, and you can use it, and it doesn't matter if I'm from Canada or the slums of Nairobi. It doesn't matter if I'm black or white. None of that matters. Truth is truth, and I know how to teach truth. And since then, I've been here for 8 years now, and whenever I start to forget what I'm doing here, I remember that.
Yes, yes.
And that's all I need to remember.
Absolutely. That also tells me, thank you for sharing that the answers are within us.
Yes.
The answers are already there. Reverend Connie talked about she took a moment. So what to do when you don't know what to do, which might be the end of this, but it's not now, is take a moment. My grandmother used to always say, and people in that age, I'm not going to say what age that is, used to always say, count to 10 before you answer. And it's only just recently that I really realized how important that is and what it means for your own spirit, what it means for your own life, is just take a moment to listen to yourself, that God self within you, and the truth will reveal itself in a way that people and you can understand it. I love that. Just take a moment. How about that?
Yeah.
That sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing that. That can be really kind of scary, when you're in situations. I found myself in some of those situations when I was living in China, where things happen and things are going on around you, and I don't speak the language, and you don't know what's going on. But I always felt like you would be taken care of. I would be taken care of. And I knew what to do. I had some situations where, and I'm not going to share them right now, but that it's like, oh my goodness, in this part of the world, I still need to look and see the divine, the spirit in each and every one person. Even those people that you're not like familiar with or used to seeing, but it's always so easy to see the divine in people that are having a great time, people that are lovely, people that are, just around you all the time. But when you get in these situations and you're not used to them or heard of them, and yet you come back to all is well, all is well. And it has saved me. It has saved me in many situations. You gotta take that moment. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. How about it?
My name's Carrie, and my what to do when you don't know what to do. I've always been, previously, I'm not anymore, I've always been a control freak.
I think we all have that in common.
Yeah, I gotta get a t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm one of those people that you have to know like how it's going to play out in the next couple of days, weeks, months, years.
Yeah.
and I don't like going out on a limb, like stepping out in faith. That's not my thing. And just recently I did that, and it took a lot to step out in faith, because that's what I did, without having a backup plan, without knowing how it will play out. And this is in regards to leaving my job and my partner. We've been together for the last 12 years. I met my partner in Northampton in England, and I met him on the streets. He looked like someone I know, so later that day, I met him at a friend's house, and it so happened he was my brother's. He was a brother to a very close friend of mine, my workmate. And we got to talking, and whatever happened. And soon enough, we were dating. And we dated, and we moved in together, and had a baby, and moved back home. But something in me didn't add up, and I would just repress it. I played this out the way I expected it to be, because I'd been told how this is supposed to play out. Get married, have children, you're the firstborn. You have to lead by example. All my mom's sisters were married in nice homes, and they'd complied with the memo that had been sent out. So for
The unwritten memo.
The unwritten memo. So for me, I had to do that. I had to be the good girl and get married, but something just didn't add up. And we came back home with a little baby, and life went on. And there were some things when I would be alone, there are some things that I wasn't willing to admit to myself. And I'd just repress it. I was a nice church girl. I was a nice daughter, and I was going to do this the right way, if it killed me. And everybody loved him. And so I wondered, maybe I'm the problem. Because everyone looked at us and thought, you are the perfect couple. Look at you. You guys are making it work. But I knew it wasn't working for me, and I wouldn't tell anyone. And one day I shared it with my friend, and she told me, how old are you? Why do you want to start making these mistakes now? You should have done this when you're much, much younger. But even your age doesn't permit you to do this. And I thought, God, I'm just, okay, let me sit down. Because my mom always used to say, I'm Amoremi. Amoremi means a rebellious person. So I didn't want that tag. So yeah, I'm going to sit it out, and I'm going to make this work. And one day I left church. That wasn't working for me either. I left church, and I started searching, and I always wondered, God, I'd sit down and say, God, why can't I just conform like everyone else? Why can't I just be happy with what I have? I'd tried, but it wasn't working. God, I tried. And I'd listen. I'd go on YouTube and watch the clips and listen to other women's stories, and I'd think, God, I don't want that life. And I'd try it for a couple of weeks, but I wouldn't sustain it because it just wasn't me. And one day, my mom fell ill, and through the course of my mom's sickness, my mom told me one thing, and told me, you know something I'd never told you before? You're a good daughter. That's something my mom had never told me. My brother was always the good child. You're a good daughter, and somehow you're going to make this work. For me, that was huge. For her to tell me that, in our society, your mom doesn't tell you she loves you. Just get on with it. So when she told me that, I thought, I didn't really hear it until after she died. She died last year, this past October. And this year I thought, after I joined the class, and I started really hearing what the class was about living your true, authentic self. If there's anything else I will do, I will live my truth. And this wasn't working. I was trying to repress it, and it was coming out in other ways. I was a control freak. I wasn't a good mom. I thought I loved my daughter, but I was playing out my mom's narrative all over again, and I saw it. I was trying so hard not to be my mom. My mom was a good person, and she did the best with what she had, but I was repeating the same cycle with my child. I loved my child too much to do this, and I thought, this is it. This is it. I'm not doing this anymore. And I told my partner, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of doing the same thing over and over again. This is not working for me. And I just want to go. I want to end this. And the first 3 people I told, my God, are you nuts? What do you think? Are you cheating? Are you having an affair? And no, I'm not. Is this cult you joined the other day? This. We've seen your posts on Facebook.
Yeah.
And actually, a couple of people called me and had a meeting with me, and I said, let me tell you something. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to do it for my mom. I'm not going to do it for you. I'm not going to do it for you. And if it doesn't work, I'll have tried. I'll have done what I know how to do than living this lie. I had created this narrative in my head, and that's the one that I would tell people. In the poem that I wrote last year, I said that I'd learned how to put up a facade. The story was just perfect, but I knew it was a lie. I knew in my heart it was a lie. And I would fake it and fake it and fake it. And I asked myself one day, to whom am I faking this for? It doesn't matter to you. To you, you've got your own lives. I'm just hurting myself and I'm hurting my daughter. I'm going to walk out, and I know I won't fail, because the truth is this, that I can do all things. Anything that I set out to do, I will do. And I walked out, and I was scared. I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up at night sweating. What are you going to do? How will you make ends meet? Where will the money come from? You've left your job, you've left him. There's stability. And if this was stability, I didn't want it. I didn't want it. Because I wasn't happy. I was trying to keeping up appearances for my friends, for my family, but it wasn't real. And how long would I do this for? And I walked out. And I was scared. I was so scared. But there was something here that told me it's going to be okay. That it's going to be okay. I knew that it's going to be okay. That I just needed to step out in faith for once in my life. I just needed to step out in faith and say, I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't know what's going to happen next week. But I know that there's a power that's for my good. And it's going to be okay. I had to tell myself that nearly 100 times a day. I would feel the fear, and I would say there's a higher power that wants this to work out more than I ever could. That knows that this is going to play out just right for me and my daughter. I won't starve, I won't die. And can you imagine how exciting it will be the other side? To come out the other side and just be free. And my daughter told me, Mommy, you're such a happy person. And I said, God, I know that I'm on the right path. I know I'm on the right path. I don't know about tomorrow. I don't know about next week. But I know that it's going to be okay. And for the last couple of weeks, it's been 7 weeks, it's been just fine. When I sleep, God, I sleep. I sleep. And the fear is dissipating. The more I speak it every day, and you told us something on Sunday about being aggressive. And at times I would wake up and scream into my pillow and say, no, that's a lie. No, stop it, it's a lie. I know what truth is. This is something that I've created in here. It's not true. It's not true. It's just a creation of my mind, and I can be able to create something new. A new program. A new life for me and my daughter. There is nothing to be afraid of. Millions of other people have done it before me, and I too will do it. And I know that I can. I'm confident of that I can. And I know I am. Yeah.
That's beautiful and so heartfelt.
Yeah.
So what we're hearing about from all of our presenters is boldness, stepping out, boldness, courage, strength, love, absolute bottom line, love. We know that women are powerful, and that power that is innate is love. It is joy, it is creative, and it is nurturing. And that love has to start with self. I am so honored that you shared that with us. And I see that with the transformation that you are on the other side, but all of it is a transition, is it not? You said so many things that I know I can relate to, and I'm going to not assume, but know that we can all relate to the fear, the imagination that makes things 50 times worse than they are. But the boldness, my sister, my powerful women, is always there. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Because you're happier now, yes?
You know?
At peace. At peace.
And one thing I wasn't willing to admit to myself is that he didn't treat me right.
Yeah, put your hands down. So it's like,
yeah, I wasn't willing to admit that he didn't treat me right. And I made excuses for it. I made excuses. Because how was I going to admit to other people that this relationship that was so perfect, we were so suited for each other. We finished each other's sentences. And how was I going to admit that that wasn't working? To make me look bad because I didn't try, maybe I didn't try hard enough. And after I left and took a really hard look, I admitted to myself and I had to say it loud. And I thought, actually I was struggling with saying it out loud. And I said, say it or write it down. I took a pen and brought it down and I said, you didn't treat me right, John. You didn't treat me right. It wasn't my fault because he made it my fault. He told me that it was my fault. I did this to him and made him react this way. I wasn't what he wanted.
How many women have heard that story? Oh my goodness.
and not only that, heard that story, but accepted it.
Yeah.
And
Are living
believed
it.
it.
And even now still
continued,
believing.
You know, because it's like, when we feel like we have failed, as opposed to we're just going through our journey, we want to do the reading. What have I done wrong? What can I change? You know, the whole situation you take on your shoulders as if it's your fault, and fault is a judgment. And it's not anybody's fault, really. It's not anyone's fault in the relationship. Everybody has their own responsibility for their part in the situation, but there's no fault because that's judgment. But we take on that, you know, we got to do it, we got to do this, and I remember reading books and talking to my minister and, you know, doing all these things and trying to go to counseling that, oh well, here I am without my husband now. However, you through that, just like you said, in so many ways, and you have said, all of you have said, all of us are saying that is part of the process, apparently, for that period and that time. And hallelujah on the other side. It's
there's another life out there.
this is what living beyond limits feels like. This is giving my gift, what that looks like. Had that not happened, and that doesn't mean we have to have pain to grow, but had that not happened, would you be sharing your life and helping to encourage other women? I don't know, but we know that that's the path that you took to do it.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
And that's absolutely, and to take care of your daughter and have her giving back to you what she sees. Oh my God, how powerful is that? Yeah, and still here and doing great, and we have these wonderful students and me as a friend now. I'm not going to talk much longer, but for me, I'm living my dream now. I'm living my dream, encouraging, supporting, uplifting, and I don't really have to say much. I just provide that opportunity for others to do their work so that others can do their life work, that brings you the joy. I am so appreciative. Is there any last minute comments you would like to make in terms of our looking and listening audience? Are you doing
I'm
so?
sorry, that's my phone ringing. I didn't have the ringer off. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We'll survive it, I think. This
He
is
danced to that.
This is kind of company. I love it. That's okay. I'm gonna close this now with thanking our participants, our powerful women, and I'm gonna ask if we could all just say at the end. I'm gonna ask you to say something, but where are you at? What have you experienced? And you're gonna get through it. 5 powerful women. There's 4 of us here. It really doesn't matter the number so much as the message that we are presenting and giving, and you're taking it in. So spread this around, and let people know, as well as, not only is this 5 powerful women speaking on what to do when you don't know what to do, but there is a book I want to show you that I have authored by several women telling their stories. So what to do when you don't know what to do is available on Amazon.com. It's available on my website, tendijordan.com, and pick it up. And please let me know what you think about it, how it supports you and help you, and take a breath. And thank you. Say any one thing you would like. This is not the talk as long as you want, period. This is just one statement. If there's any way you want people to contact you, any organization you would know about, please let that be known at this time. One last final word.
What I can say is that now I know that we are all very powerful, and that it really doesn't matter at what point we are in our life. We can always take the next step and be sure that we are guided, we are guarded, we are protected, and that we are all divine in our own special way.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Any final words?
Yeah, now I know that I'm worthy, I'm deserving of love, of every good gift that can be and is being expressed from God. I will live my life from that truth, and I know there's only good that can come from here on. Only good and nothing else coming my way.
Well, I just want to say that these 2 powerful women here are students that have been studying the science of mind. You can contact the organization. Centers for Spiritual Living is based in the United States. We have centers around the world, and if you're in Nairobi, you can reach out to cslkenya.org and look us up, and I'd love to meet you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So the last thing we're going to leave you with With power.
I
am
a
powerful
woman.
Thank you, and see you soon. Take a minute. Now, I'm going to do something here. Thank you, and welcome back. This is the second half of 5 Powerful Women, whose topic is what to do when you don't know what to do. And we are here in Nairobi, Kenya in 2018. So we're looking forward to hearing what else has to be said, because it is very powerful. If you haven't seen the first part, look at the first part, and then now watch now the second part. Thank you so very much. Yes, carry on.
Wow.
Okay, good. Just in case we have to do the second part.
Perfect.
Yes.
Let me
Okay.
shut this off. That's what I was reaching for earlier, so sorry.
And I'm sure we have this.
And then you can shut that off and I will
Cool.
phone my buddy back and see what his panic is. He could be at the gate. Probably is.
I heard somebody